Hello Ramen Nation, Chris Cobain here, bringing you guys XRL, the Ramen League, Week 2 Game of the Week. And as you guys probably have noticed, there is a repeat performer in Game of the Week. It's Connor, head coach of the Miami Mimikyus. So this week we actually had two. We went, as per usual, we went through every match of Week 2. We had two matches that were in contention for Game of the Week this week. One of them was this match, Connor versus Anarchy. The other one was actually Reiki versus Reshi. Reshi being the other person from the Game of the Week last week. So either way, we were going to have a repeat. We put up a straw poll on the XRL Discord server, and this was the one that won out by a few points. So this is the one we'll be checking out. So on our side, we'll be checking out Connor, the coach of the Miami Mimikyus, as I said. And the opposing side is going to be Anarchy as Leaf, and he is the coach of the Vancouver Victinis. Connor's 1-0 after that, after defeating Reshi last week in our Game of the Week, and Anarchy is 0-1 after taking a pretty tough loss to Sebastian and the San Jose Sharkpedos in Week 1. So let's go ahead and take a look at the teams. Connor's is largely similar to the one you saw last week. You're on Victini, Marowak, Rotom Heat, which I believe is the only difference. I forget what it replaced though. Celebi, Dragonite, and Tapu Fini. Don't want to give too much away, but I will tell you guys that it is the same exact Marowak set as last time, as in it's a Trick Room Victini. It's a Trick Room Celebi, excuse me, with the minimum speed Marowak to be fast. Everything else is pretty easy to digest. It's a Life Orb Victini. Everything else is pretty common. So on the opposing side, we're seeing Mega Blastoise, Gardevoir, Toxicroak, Rhydon, Jolteon, and Volcarona. So you can definitely see what each guy was trying to go with here. Jolteon's going to be really good as a pivot as long as it can avoid Marowak for the most part. Obviously, there's things that can stop it, but it can put in some work. And obviously, Connor has to be very, very scared of Volcarona, as even Rotom Heat can't really do much to it if it starts setting up. Obviously, can't hit it hard enough back. So definitely something Connor has to look out for going into the fight here. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see who walks out with the victory. Can Anarchy break even, or can Connor keep his season undefeated at week number 2? So right off the bat, we're going to see Mega Blastoise appear automatically, going up against a very, very good lead in Victini, and it's shiny, not actually released, but still looks cool. So right off the bat here, you're going to see an automatic switch out from the Blastoise, not when playing the games with a potential Bolt Strike, and he'll switch into Rhydon, which is actually a pretty solid switch in. You're going to see Victini use U-Turn, and it's going to reveal that Life Orb turn 1. Obviously, Rhydon not completely safe, as Victini gets both Glaciate and Energy Ball, and I think Grass on as well. So out comes Celebi as the switch in, though. Very, very good play, obviously. A very easy one to make. Rhydon's going to be forced out automatically, so Connor's got the upper hand starting this match off. He's going to switch it up into Spicy, which will be Volcarona, a really good switch in, but another good prediction from Connor allows him to set up Rocks, which is going to put mega pressure on Volcarona specifically. Obviously, does have Blastoise to spin, though, if he would like to. At this point, Celebi's going to go ahead and switch it up into Voltergeist, which is going to be his dedicated response to Volcarona. The question here is, can he stop it from Quiver Dance spamming? And because obviously Rotom's not going to get too much, it's going to stop it. Even if he's running Hidden Power Rock, it's really not going to stop him from Quiver Dance spamming. As you're going to see, the Volcarona is scared of this, though, and will switch automatically out back into the Rhydon. Take any potential hits there, electric or fire, or whatever he chooses to use. Voltergeist actually reveals Toxic, which is a really, really good game planning strategy. Most of the time, Volcarona is not running Substitute, so it's a really good way to start chipping down that Volcarona without having, too much pressure on you. So, but either way, he'll take the poison on something as bulky as Rhydon anyway. So out comes the Rotom. He's going to switch out into Katrina, which will be his Tapu Fini. Anarchy makes a really, really good prediction here, actually. And I believe this is the time he just automatically clicks Poison Jab. Yeah. So really, really good prediction. Obviously, Tapu Fini is going to eat that up pretty well. No poison can be had, but Tapu Fini cannot heal in any way other than leftovers. So getting any chip damage on that is very, very important and could serve huge later on the match. So he'll take the damage for sure. So Rhydon's going to have to make a switch here, obviously, but Connor's going to go ahead and predict that. He's going to automatically switch out of Tapu Fini into his Vendetta, predicting the Rhydon to switch, which is exactly what happens. It's going to be a switch out back into that Blastoise, so we're right back to the leads. Good play by Connor, predicting that to get it back in. He can scare away the Blastoise with the Bolt Strike, but actually, Blastoise does decide to stand and play risky with it. He knows it's not banded at this point, so he probably is confident he can take even a Bolt Strike if that's the case. But Victini is going to go back for the U-turn. Doesn't want to play risky. I do not believe that at that point a Bolt Strike would pick up the kill, so he obviously doesn't want to go for that, be aggressive, and then have Victini get obliterated by Scald or Dark Pulse or whatever. So Tapu Fini will make the come out here as the Blastoise actually goes for Scald. A little bit of an interesting decision. Obviously, Rapid Spin would be a really good play there, but I guess he didn't want to Rapid Spin if the Victini could pick up that giant hit. He wanted to punish Victini for staying in, so not a big deal. He knows that even if Tapu Fini comes in, he can Rapid Spin on it pretty easily. So the Tapu Fini reveals Shadow Ball as the Rapid Spin comes through. So he gets exactly what he wants off anyway. And of course, even though Scald cannot burn because of the Misty Terrain, it does pick up chip damage, which, as I said before, is very, very important for trying to kill something like this. So Blastoise is going to switch out here, switch it up into Yuki. I forget what that is. Okay, it's Jolteon. As the Tapu Fini goes back for another Shadow Ball. Not going to be very strong. Clearly not invested in special attack pretty much at all. So it's not going to do much of anything at all to the Jolteon, which is fine. Jolteon now has a free chance to go for some attacks unless Connor plays aggressive and switches into the Marowak. But he does make the more safe play. Doesn't want to risk the Hidden Power Ice, so he just goes right into the Rotom. Anarchy did make the prediction for the Marowak to come out. Does not get it. And does reveal that Life Orb. Something to keep in mind for later. A little bit of leftover recovery. Obviously, at this point, Jolteon will be able to just Volt Switch out, so... he made the more aggressive prediction there. Didn't quite get it, but that's fine. He's able to Volt Switch out pretty easily, and he does have a dedicated switch in to the Rotom anyway. So it's really not that big a deal. As he will switch out into that dedicated switch in, obviously being the Rhydon. Can't even be burnt anymore thanks to the poison. You're going to see Voltergeist go for Volt Switch, obviously a failure. As the Rhydon will soak that up pretty easily. And now has a free chance to do whatever he wants on his side of the field. Can set up rocks, can play more aggressive, go for an attack. Kano's going to switch back out into Celebi. Remember, Rhydon actually gets Mega Horn, so that's a very risky predict. But he does, obviously, the Rhydon not going to use it there. It'd be really, really ballsy play, especially with Tapu Fini being so easy. He does just set the rocks, which is a good play. It will pressure Victini, obviously, but Defog will be on the side of Tapu Fini, so... Rhydon going to switch out, jump into Echo, which is going to be his Gardevoir. As the Celebi, I think the Celebi clicks rocks here back. You're going to see the Trace Natural Cure. No, excuse me, Celebi does go for U-turn, so he's going to get momentum automatically. He's going to hit Gardevoir for pretty decent damage, actually. And he's able to switch it back into Katrina, which is going to be his Defogger, obviously. Good play on his part. You got to remember, though, that Gardevoir can learn Taunt. But we do know that this Tapu Fini carries Shadow Ball, something for the Gardevoir to keep out for, or to keep an eye out for. Don't want to take a lot of damage. But he can do a phenomenal job of chipping Tapu Fini here if he chooses to. You're going to see the automatic switch out, jumping back into Turn Wheel here. A very interesting pivot play. Take a little bit of rock damage there as the Gardevoir actually taunts. So exactly what he was thinking, the taunt, exactly what I said. Can't defog on the taunt. He does make the play to switch back into Celebi. This will give him a second chance to U-turn out if he wants to. He gets some momentum. You're going to see the Wish revealed from the Gardevoir, which is actually really interesting. Not something you see Gardevoir run very often at all. You're going to see the U-turn do about another 25%, take him down to 50, but because of that Wish, not really going to matter, except for the fact that he brings out Victini, and he does take that 25% Rock Slam, which was very, very huge for Anarchy, obviously. It does force out the Gardevoir. So, in comes Rhydon. Connor makes a phenomenal prediction here, Glick's Grass Knot, and that's going to go ahead and obviously take Rhydon down. So the Wish is rendered completely useless. Rhydon is taken out. But he does have his rocks up still. At least for now, he does have rocks up, and he's already done 25% to Victini, which is huge. So out comes Yuki. Oh, God. Sorry, my bad. I messed with it. Out comes Yuki, and then Yuki's actually going to automatically pivot out and jump into Blastoise. This is a full-on Marowak prediction from the side of Anarchy. And when you know it, he calls it. Another phenomenal double switch. This time on the side of Anarchy, predict that. And now Marowak is super afraid. Obviously has to get out of here automatically. Unless it wants to get obliterated. So, Forced out into Katrina. Thankfully for Connor, he does have a really good switch into this Blastoise to where it's not going to be too bad. It's really hard to switch it on Mega Blastoise, but obviously Tapu Fini does a very good job of doing so. So in comes the Ice Beam. I'm not exactly... He probably clicked Ice Beam just to try to hit the Celebi just in case it came in, which is a fair play. But Fini is the easier play there. Obviously, you can be running Dark Pulse on... or Ice Beam, clearly, on Blastoise, so you don't want to switch into that. So out goes Blastoise, in back comes Echo, the Gardevoir. But this will give Tapu Fini a chance to go ahead and click those Stealth Rocks. He needs those, or click those Defogs to get rid of those rocks. Obviously needs to get rid of them so that Victini and Dragonite do not take a lot of damage from them. Do not want Dragonite to lose multi-scale, obviously, at this point in time. So the rocks are gone permanently from Anarchy, or from Connor's side of the field, since the Rhydon is dead. Echo's going to go for Shadow Ball here. It does pretty solid damage. You're going to see the Shadow Ball trade back from the side of Tapu Fini, which almost kills. Very, very close to killing Gardevoir. Tapu Fini just needs one more attack, but at this point, it's more likely that Gardevoir goes ahead and clicks a Psychic Attack. He probably clicks Shadow Ball there, just in case the Celebi comes out again, but this time he just goes straight for the Moonblast. Obviously no resistance from Celebi just in case, and it will pick up the crit. I do believe this crit matters. I think Fini lives otherwise, but either way, he does pick up the kill. Very good for Kano, though. It does allow him to bring out Dragonite automatically, so... Here's where some interesting stuff comes into play. Anarchy is rocking Z Moonblast Gardevoir and actually outspeeds. So Connor at this point knows that it's knows that it has Wish and Taunt. So he's figuring it's a more, especially with that Shadow Ball damage, he's expecting it's a more bulky variant of Gardevoir, and he thinks that he's directly faster than him. Unfortunately, he is incorrect. He does live the Twinkle Tackle thanks to the multi-scale and is able to pick up the kill with Earthquake, but that's a huge amount of damage. He is carrying Extreme Speed on this set, so it's very unfortunate. He's going to take a bunch of damage, but he does get the Gardevoir kill. So out now comes Blastoise, and this is going to be another big play right here. As you just saw one Z move, now feel the wrath of a second Z Moonblast Gardevoir, and now you're seeing Z Fly Dragonite. Fairly decent switch in from Anarchy. I don't blame him one bit for bringing in Blastoise like that, thinking he'd take one hit. But Z moves, as we all know, are busted, super, super strong, and Z Fly on things like Dragonite, Salamence, Landorus make them so much more lethal than they already were. Z-Fly just going to straight obliterate. It might just one hit, but it certainly kills from the 60% Blastoise out. So a second kill now for Dragonite, making up for that miss, or for that misplay a little bit for the not extreme speeding. So at this point now, he's going to extreme speed. Remember, Anarchy's not aware he has it. He doesn't think he does because he would use it on Gardevoir. So he goes for Sucker Punch and fails, and then Connor makes the same misplay a second time. Super unfortunate. If he extreme speeds there, he automatically kills this Toxicroak. It can't be faster. Unfortunately, he doesn't click it again, and it will allow the Toxicroak to pick up the kill. Forced out to bring in Marowak. The Drain Punch going to come through from the side of the Toxicroak. Do pretty solid damage to this Marowak. It also Poison touches him as well. Not really relevant in general, but it does provide some chip damage. Bone Run going to come through from the Marowak and obviously pick up the kill on the Toxicroak there. And that sets it up pretty much. You're going to see the Poison wear down the Marowak a little bit. And now you're going to see Spicy come out, which is the Volcarona. So the Volcarona at this point really just wants to go in and do all the work. It's 4-on-2 right now, even with the little bit of misplaying on Dragonite. Connor's got the advantage here. He's going to switch back into his dedicated Volcarona play, which is Rotom, as the Volcarona clicks Fiery Dance. Now, it does very little. It's obviously a specially defensive variant of Rotom, as it should be when he's built to face Volcarona like this. But he does get, Anarchy does get that special attack raise, which is really nice. So at this point, everyone's aware of what's going to happen. It's pretty clear that it's going to be a Quiver Dance from the side of the Volcarona, and obviously Rotom's going to click Toxic. The question here is how much damage can Volcarona do before the Toxic wears it out? Can he do enough damage in order to put this game on his side and win it? So Left throws are going to come through, and at this point, I think he only Quiver Danced the one time. You're just going to see the Volcarona just sit here and spam Fire Dance for the most part. What you'll do here, he is at +2 thanks to the first boost, remember. plus the quiver dance, obviously. That does a pretty solid amount of damage. But as the Rotom's going to reveal, he's actually, well, he uses Pain Split this time, which is a phenomenal play. It's going to go ahead and remove pretty much every bit of damage that Fiery Dance just did. Pretty much all of it, and obviously it's going to help stall out Toxic just a little bit. One extra turn. That one extra turn could turn out to be absolutely huge, so he makes the play he has to there. But at this point, now that he knows he's Volcarona is going to be about half-ish health or so, the Pain Split is pretty much out of the equation at this point. Another Fire Dance coming through from the side of Volcarona. Again, it's going to take him to about 50%, a little bit lower than that. And the Rotom, as I was going to say last time, the Rotom reveals Hidden Power Rock. So another really good way to try to handle Volcarona. It's only +1 special defense, so that does a pretty solid chunk of damage, about 25% or so. And he's going to get the leftovers. Both are going to get the leftovers, and the Toxic's just going to wear it down one more time. Obviously, at this point, Rotom has won the match, or has won the 1v1, obviously, because the Volcarona will die next turn, pretty much no matter what it does here. He does go for one last Fiery Dance, which will almost kill the Rotom. At that +3, takes him to literally 7 health. Hidden Power Rock's going to come through, and instead of picking up that indirect kill, he will pick up the direct kill with Hidden Power. And that makes this match 1-on-4 in favor of Connor. He's got 4 Mons left against one singular Jolteon, who is Life Orb and is chipping himself down with a Life Orb Recall. Jolteon has to make the comeback here. So Connor makes a play here to switch out into the Celebi. I do disagree with this. Rotom wasn't very relevant. It would have made more sense to just let Rotom die and let Celebi come out with more health. But it is able to soak up his Thunderbolt really, really well. At this point, you know, you're pretty much clearly living a Shadow Ball and able to combo back or counter back and kill. But Signal Beam, phenomenal game planning on the side of Anarchy. Signal Beam going to come through, hit that 4-time super effective hit on Celebi, and take him out. Brilliant game planning on the side of Anarchy to run that. Gets the kill. Out comes Marowak. That little bit of poison chip damage may matter here. I don't know how bulky this Marowak was supposed to be, but Hidden Power Ice is going to go ahead and pick up the kill there, taking out Marowak. So the Toxic could have been pretty big there. Out comes Voltergeist, which is the Rotom, obviously. Volcarona doesn't pick up the kill on this thing, but he puts it well within range of dying to a Thunderbolt. Obviously without Shadow Ball, you're running everything that Rotom resists everything this Jolteon's carrying, but with that help from the Volcarona, able to pick up the kill. And that leads to one last Pokemon, which is going to be what we know to be non-Scarf Victini at 50%. Obviously not enough health to take a Thunderbolt from Jolteon. And despite the fact that he's down 4-1 at the end of this match with a half health, as you probably hear Siren in the back, excuse me, half health Life Orb Jolteon. Jolteon's able to come back, pick up 4 straight kills, and pick up the win. A very close, I believe Jolteon lives that last Life Orb recall with 9 health. So he wins 1-0 with 9 HP remaining on his Jolteon. And a phenomenal, phenomenal match. A really, really good match. It was really well played for the most part. Obviously, as I mentioned, I don't want to, keep hindering on it, but it's, the non-extreme extreme speed plays from Dragonite obviously cost Connor the match there. He knows that. He knows he messed up, but it happens. Everyone makes mistakes like that. Otherwise, both guys played absolutely phenomenal. You saw both guys make really good double switch predictions to get in different things. You saw Connor going to Victini, predict the Blastoise. You saw Anarchy switch out. I forgot what he did now, though. I actually forgot. Doesn't matter. He switched into Blastoise to go into to predict Marowak, right? So these guys both played this really well. A really good team building on both parts. I love the Rotom, the Toxic Hidden Power Rock. I love the Signal Beam on Jolteon so it can handle Celebi better. No need to run Shadow Ball. I mean, you look at this team, Victini's not going to take Thunderbolt well enough for that to matter. So Signal Beam makes much, much more sense. And a well-played game by both. So Anarchy does move to 1-1 with the victory. Obviously, Connor drops to 1-1, but he obviously has made Game of the Week 2 weeks in a row now, so nothing to be ashamed of. Both guys played this really well. Really enjoyable match, and honestly, I think this was my favorite of the week again. So even though there was another one, I think this was my favorite just because Jolteon. I love Jolteon. It was cool to see it come back and pick up those 4 straight kills to win the game. So Expect him on Pokemon of the Week. I don't know what number he'll be, but expect it 4 kills like that. Definitely expect him on the Pokemon of the Week video. So, thank you guys for watching. As always, I do appreciate it. Hope you guys look forward to Pokemon of the Week, week number 2, in 2 days on Friday. Hope to see you guys there for that, excuse me. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching once again. I'll see you guys next time, alright? Alright, peace, Ramen Nation. See you.